video of our multi-video seller series, we shall look at the differences in the home selling process and real estate terminology between the US and the UK, since the majority of our foreign national sellers are from the UK. Here are 4 useful differences to bear in mind when considering how these two countries operate when it comes to the home selling process. We hope that highlighting and explaining these differences will help foreign national sellers better understand and hence cope with selling a home in the US from abroad.
Number 1. Real estate agent involvement. One of the biggest differences between selling a home in the UK and the US using the services of a real estate agent is that in the US, that agent will stay involved and very much hands-on throughout the entire selling process. The US real estate agent will not only advertise and market the home, but will present offers to and negotiate offers for the seller. Once the seller is under contract, the real estate agent will remain directly involved and will help the seller navigate the terrain from signed contract to the closing table. In the UK, on the other hand, when the real estate agent has found an interested buyer for the home, the agent will instruct both the seller and the buyer to go to their respective solicitors, who will then be responsible for doing the conveyancing, and the real estate agent's duties are complete except for removing the for sale sign from the property once the sale has gone through. Having the real estate agent here continually involved throughout the whole process does, we feel, make the selling process far less daunting for the seller. We covered the role of a real estate agent in greater detail in a previous video in this seller series.
Number 2. MLS and buyer's agents. In the UK, if a buyer wishes to purchase a home, that buyer needs to go from real estate agency to real estate agency to see what each agency has for sale and needs to make appointments with each agency to view their property or properties. In the US, because of the MLS, which we described in great detail in a previous video in the seller series, that buyer needs only one agent representative. The buyer's agent is able to show the buyer all the homes on the MLS which meet the buyer's interest, regardless of who may be the listing agent, and so the buyer may very quickly see all the homes of interest using just his or her own agent. The buyer's agent is compensated by being given the co-brokering commission as advertised on MLS. For a seller, this means that as well as having his or her listing agent help sell the home, the seller also has thousands of real estate buyer's agents licensed in the state of Florida also helping.
Number 3. House sale contingency. The UK is notorious for its house selling and buying chains. This is seen where someone is not able to buy until someone buys their home, but that in turn is dependent on someone buying their home, and so the chain continues, often several home sellers and buyers deep. In the US, it is rare to have a house sale contingency written into an offer, let alone a multi-seller chain. If there is a home sale contingency, the seller will generally not lend serious consideration to the buyer's offer unless that buyer's own home transaction is quite some way along in the process, perhaps even already having had the inspection and appraisal performed.
Number 4. Differences in terminology. If these differences, which we have mentioned already, are not enough to confuse a foreign national seller if not well explained and understood, we also have differences in terminology which can make the selling process a little more confusing for the foreign national seller. Here are some US terms and their UK equivalents. What we in the US call an appraisal and is required by the buyer's lender, the UK calls a valuation. What we in the US call an inspection and is not mandatory, the UK calls a survey. What we in the US call a survey and is the plotting of boundaries and easements of a property and is required by a buyer's lender, the UK does not need the buyer to have performed, as the land registry in the UK has a scaled plan which is passed on to the buyer. In the US, it is customary for the seller to purchase title insurance, but in the UK, no title insurance is required to be bought as the UK government guarantees title. The differences in terminology between the US and the UK to describe different home types can also be very confusing. For example, a US townhome is a UK terrace. A US single family is a UK detached. A US duplex is a UK semi-detached. A US ranch is a UK bungalow. A US apartment is a UK flat. A US apartment building is a UK block of flats. A US studio apartment is a UK bedsit. A US vacation home is a UK holiday home. Here we may use an attorney or lawyer in a real estate transaction, whilst in the UK you would use a solicitor. Knowing some of these terminology differences may eliminate some of the confusion.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to check out the rest of the videos in our seller series.